So I had to go through my stash and find some more wood, and I found a nice ash board. And it also has a combination of sapwood and heartwood in it. So that's going to make the stretchers for right underneath the tabletop just fine. So we'll get that squared off and cut to length, and we'll start milling it. And just enough planing to clean it up. So I've spent the last few minutes laying out some dovetails. And I've used a 1 1/8 slope. And you can see this one has a huge pin on it. And there's a reason for that, which will become apparent when they're done. I'll have to get the tenon saw and give it a couple of strokes with that. Well, it's been a few days since I've been in the shop. It only seems like a cutscene to you, but I got my dovetails done up. And I don't think they're perfect. Now what I've done is I've put those on as if that was a 3-inch board. I've spaced them out instead of a 4-inch board, because I got a detail I want to put in there. So there's my show faces. That one's got a bit of a knot in it, but I'm not going to worry about that. The other side's not as bad, but doesn't have as much as the sapwood. So I kind of like the color variation in that one a bit better. And probably not perfect and probably not all the same. Amateur dovetailing. I guess we'll live with it. And I think what I want to do is split them in half widthwise. We'll show that next. But before I do that, I've got a face side now selected. So because I'll never see just a pencil mark on there, we'll put a big piece of tape on there just to draw my attention a bit better. And we'll get those marked, and then we'll get them a little bit more cutting. I don't know if I should have split them first this way or cut them first, but as I gang cut them, the thickness of the wood helped there. So we'll try to get those split in half and see what happens. Got a nice line there. So now that I got these marked, I'll make a little bit of a knife wall here. See if we can make sawing a little bit more accurate. Okay, I've got it lightly clamped up and you can get more of an idea of what I'm going for here. So that'll be the skirt joined into the legs. And the nice thing about that half lap dovetail, as you can see right in here, you got a nice shoulder. And here you got a nice shoulder to clamp against and also to flush against. So once that's done, we can take our knife and start marking out our sockets. And this is really hard to do while I'm holding the camera, but you get the idea there. Everything will be marked out, ready for some more cutting. And naturally, because they're all going to be slightly different after we get them marked out, we'll label them so they go back together in the same spot. And now with the same marking gauge that we set for our dovetail depths, we'll mark the depths here. We'll drop that mark down to the line. So we'll get that knife wall started again for the saw to fit in. And at least this time I can tap a little bit because I'm going across the grain. You ever get the feeling you're going to mess up a project? So this is the show side, so this is the side I'm going to be the most careful on. And dive in by the looks of the grain. Again, our backside is going to be covered with that half lap joint, so it's not as important. But no sense in being all sloppy about it either. It's a little tight. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not bad for an amateur. Let me take you up here. You can still see the dark of the pencil. And that'll be the face. That's right on. I could probably make the socket just a little wee deeper. About a plane shaving or two away from being totally flush there. So that's it. 3 more to do. Well, I done called that one right. It was a little bit too tight. Split off the end in here, so we've got her glued back on and clamped up. I don't know if I can get you a good view of that. So, not going to really see it, that's the inside. And it didn't split out to the show face, but a little too tight. So now we're waiting for glue to dry. Time to take a break and have a bite to eat, I guess. All right. I'll give you a view. So that's the legs with the skirts on. Yeah, not bad for an amateur. There's a few little gaps in there, but once it gets all clamped in there, and bad light around the back. I can't even see what I'm doing here. Once it gets glued and clamped, I think it'll look great, just fine. Oh, that's another step done. Seems to be cutting all right. It's starting to show up now. You can see they look centered on every part but the detail, which is what I was shooting for. So I've had to come out into the sunshine where the light's a little bit more directional to show that a little shadow line that I've put into it. Just a little bit of a detail. You can see I didn't take very much material out, but it makes a nice line. And now these look centered on the board. So there we go, put back together again. Dovetails and shadow lines. And I'm kind of liking that. I guess next we go to the feet. Start working on that next.